so therapeutic feeling in there. It's like sort of a spot that you just don't think to work. Wow, that's so therapeutic just there.
Yeah, as we go deeper into sort of another spot where the sun don't shine. Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's Elliot here from MMT with Ninja.
Hello.
Another treatment series episode. So here we're going to look at a muscle that I've been treating a bit more recently that's attached to your pelvis but can contribute to a bit of tightness in your back. It's your oblique, so one of your abdominal muscles. People think of it as like your side crunch muscles when they do sit-ups there, but the muscle actually envelops quite far around. It forms part of your core, and it does attach to a lot of your anatomy. So if we imagine the rib cage there, it actually attaches to the bottom of the ribs and then down into the pelvic crest here. So where we're going to work on today is getting into the attachment point in the pelvis, not so much the ribs today, but more in the pelvis there, and not just where they attach there, but also in there as well. Because what I've been finding is that with some people, one side is actually much more congested and tight compared to the other. And I reckon over time, as people, as being upright creatures and being seated, we're quite compressed and we can sag off to one side, like when we're driving or working at the computer, and that tissue there gets quite compressed and can start to fold in there. So all I want to do is see if we can find some money spots inside the crest there that we can dig out, get some freedom of movement coming back there. So this will help that kind of tilt of the trunk, but also the pelvis to tilt as well because of where it attaches. And so we need this to move freely to allow that to expand and move. And I often find that one side can be a bit tighter than the other. So if we look at our illustrious model here, Ninj, he's just done some deadlifts on Monday.
Yep. A little bit tender, but very good.
How heavy were you lifting?
190.
190. Why not 200?
No, I was just sort of, I know myself, and I've tried 195
That's
a
hectic.
couple of cycles ago, and yeah, it's good to get 190. There's still equal PB, so yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty happy.
That's incredible. I don't think I've ever lifted that heavy before.
Yeah.
So a little bit muscle sore, dom sore, but feeling good otherwise. And so you can see how much muscle development this man's got in his 50s too, you know? So that's pretty good, eh? So we can see the back muscles there, but what we're going to focus on is the attachment point of the obliques there. So where his pelvic crest is here, and where the muscle we're going to hit is along that border of that crease, but also inside there. So Ninja, if I get you to side bend, that's it. That's where this side will elongate. So you can try this yourself at home or when you're watching this. When you bend to the side there, do you feel a stretch in here?
No, it's more compression in here.
So you feel a bit of compression back here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a bit of like tension in that area that's worked there.
In this front rib.
So I come around here, have a look at this. You can see the skin being pulled taut here as it bends to the side. Even when I push into there, there's some of that tautness of that tissue. Right? So some of it can be the attachment of that being a little bit contracted. Let's check the other side there. So it's not quite the most accurate in terms of what we would see on sedentary people because Ninja is not a sedentary person at all. He's up and about a lot. But you can still see where this gets a bit folded and tight there. How's that compared to the other side?
Yeah, the left side you can't really feel anything, but the right side there, just sort of that restriction in lower, and yeah, just definitely feel, yeah, it's just sort of...
Even when you bend towards the right as well?
Even bending into it and away is still the right hand side, there's awareness.
Okay. Let's just do a quick test as well. If you bend like kind of down and to the side,
Yep.
like this, does that pull into that spot at all?
Can't feel it too much.
Okay.
And that probably compression in that way when I do that one.
Yeah, just folding into it back there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way there's no awareness, no feeling.
No worries. Alrighty, so we'll get into the attachment point of the oblique there down on the pelvic crest. We'll get you laying on your left side, facing that way. Alright.
Thanks, man.
So position the person comfortably, just so we can access this area. We're going to go no wax. That's where the magic happens, when we've got full contact with the anatomy, not slipping too much. And so what I'm looking for here is that pelvic bone
You guys can try this at home yourself.
Whoa.
It's sort of where you put your hands on your hips, that bone. Find the top of it. Sink your thumb in.
That's good.
Wait. And just settle. Notice the contour of the bone and what it feels like under your thumb. You can add a bit of distraction by pulling the pelvis down towards his feet a bit. That's going to open him up a little.
Yep.
And then my thumb can then fill in that gap. Now I'm changing my angle. I'm just going to pop my glasses over here because they're going to fall off my face. And just angling down like that. How are we going there, Ninja?
Good, man.
So,
It's really good. So therapeutic feeling in there. It's like sort of a spot that you just don't think to work. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so therapeutic just there.
Yeah, as we go deeper into sort of another spot where the sun don't shine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The angle is pretty important when I do this, so it looks like I'm just pushing on it, but I'm actually pushing down and towards his feet. So really getting into that border, keeping that distraction with the other arm, pulling the pelvis also down to open it up. Yep, feeling a few twitches as well as I'm applying more pressure. I haven't moved anywhere, I'm just sort of staying on that spot, sticking to our principles of going along the rails where the attachment points are.
Feels so good, man. I know the language you're speaking, man. It's clear. It's going to be better in the future. Just know that the range is going to open up, you know, you can just tell it's unraveling my stuff.
Yeah, just gradually ramping up that pressure, thinking about all those fibers that are still underneath there that are being squashed up. It just builds up over time. So when we're not flexing away to that other side, the tissue here is not expanding. And every day, you know, your fluid's moving through your body, your muscles are turning over new cells. If you're stuck in one position there, they're going to fill in a new framework and it's going to be tighter and shorter. So a good way to keep this area supple is just remembering to reach out towards the side. So that, you know, that side bend stretch where you bend over to one side, reach your arm up and over. That helps to lengthen the region.
Whoa.
Get a bit of a dynamic release there as well. And again, I still have not moved my thumb. It's in the exact same spot as it was before.
Yeah, it feels like you've moved. It's changed from my perspective. So that's cool. It's really detailed and thorough. And just be so accurate, I think, with this kind of work is to just exactly where that restriction is that's stopping the range movement. So just hold it until that kind of thing allows your range to come back.
So now you can see how I'm pinning it and he's able to expand his ribs up there. So a bit more elasticity in the tissues there. That's what we want to see. As I sink out of it, I'm just going to reduce that pressure gradually. We don't want to flop out because I want the fluids and stuff to gradually fill in that gap that I've now created. So another quick test. So when you're ready, just standing up there and just giving that bit of a feel.
Got me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't even feel it in there now.
Probably still a bit more when you come this way.
Yeah, but that's really reduced too. So I'm just trying to search for it. It's all this, noticing the stretch here now. I
Yeah.
didn't feel that before, you know.
So if you've seen some of my other videos when I talk about ranges, as we're moving away from something,
just go. The side that is lengthening is where we want to feel something. We want to feel a stretch here, that's okay. We don't want to feel a pinch here. If we do, something's not shifting the right way. So before, when Ninja was going this way, he was feeling that compression. Something was getting blocked and getting in the way. So as we release some of that tissue that's been tight there, as he's come down towards it, it's not getting aggravated, it's not getting agitated as it's being squashed down. So that can contribute to some of that tension that we build up. So how I came about working on the spot actually was a client. She showed it to me actually. She was a pediatrician. And this is actually a couple of years ago, and just remembered it more recently. And so she works with babies a lot in hospitals, and so she'd be carrying them and examining them, but always holding her on one side for long periods of time. So she felt that she was bearing more weight to that side. Her rib cage was tilting this way, and the tissues there were always compressed there. She was getting a backache, and she was telling me, "You got to get in there." And so I was, going along the crest, getting to the glue, getting to the bit of rib. She said, "No, you got to get inside there." So she grabbed my thumb and put it on that crest, and she goes, "Go in and push down," just showing me where to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's a spot there. So yeah, very easy to try to trace and find it yourself. Just find that bone where you put your hand on your hip there, trace it with your thumb, push into the tissue. If you've got strong enough thumbs, don't have to use too much strength, but just let that tip of the thumb drop in there and then pull back, and you'll feel, ooh, there's some sensitive tension in that area that needs that release. Breathe into it and even do a side. That'll tilt as you get into it there. Okay, so if you're someone who's sitting for long periods of time, or you're getting that general kind of dull ache in your back or feeling tight there, it may not be your spine, it may actually just be the tissues around there, which actually contribute to a lot of our function. That's what we specialize here. We're looking for where things get stuck. The skeleton is more of a passenger in all this, really. It's not the thing that's creating the motion, it's the tissues and the muscles. And so we're looking for things that have got stuck, and that's a spot I reckon that's going to find on a lot of people. Yeah.
Cool. Effective.
Yeah.
Best measure of truth.
Come down to MMT and get this done.
Done.